Hello to everyone who took the time to read my story. I'm Emily, and you will be reading about what happened to me a year ago. A year ago, I was all set to start a wonderful life with my dear husband Alex, who was the love of my life. Like many naive women, I really thought that my relationship was perfect. Alex wasn't a rich man and earned less than me, but it didn't matter to me since I was independent and happy with the love he gave me. Due to the difference in our incomes, I did end up shouldering most of Alex's expenses. Hell, even when we moved into a new house shortly before our wedding, I was set to pay 80% of the rent. I never had a problem with paying for Alex, but I didn't realize that Alex was taking advantage of me. I won't lie and say that there were zero red flags. It's just that I had chosen to ignore those red flags because I was madly in love. One of the main problems that I faced in my relationship was the fact that Alex expected me to spend my money on him. In the beginning, I didn't mind him asking me for money. I made more money than him anyway. However, when Alex started to escalate with his requests, I started to say no. I could tell that my refusal to give him free access to my money was angering him. But I had still refused to see it as a problem. That was until he came to me with a ridiculous request shortly before our wedding. He said, "Hey, Emily, I actually need your credit card for something. Can you give it to me now? It's kind of urgent." "Oh, you need my credit card? What is it for?" "Why are you asking me questions? Just give me the credit card. I need it for some wedding stuff." I could tell that Alex was starting to act very suspicious. He just won't tell me why he needed my credit card and snapped when I asked him. It made me seriously question what he was up to. Even though we were going to be married, I didn't want him to spend my money without giving me all the details. I decided to insist that he tell me the reason. I said, "It must be something really important since you are in a hurry. I can't just give you my credit card like that. You need to tell me what's going on." "Oh God, you really need to stop being so controlling. I can't believe I have to explain myself to you, even when it's about the wedding." "This wedding is for the two of us, Alex. I need to know what you're planning. I will give you the card after you tell me." "Fine, have it your way then. Well, I need a credit card to book my bachelor's trip to Bali. I need to book plane tickets and hotels for my groomsmen." It took me a solid minute to understand what Alex was telling me. What he said was so bizarre that my own mind refused to believe it. The look of shock and confusion on my face was something that made Alex more annoyed. He just sounded irritated when he said, "Stop looking at me like that and give me your card. I already explained why I need it." "Alex, you must be out of your mind. You expect me to fund your bachelor's trip to freaking Bali? Why would I even do that? It's your groomsman who should be paying for a bachelor's trip. You can simply go somewhere else." "No, I want to go to Bali. I particularly insisted on that place since it's my dream destination. Since they didn't have the money, I offered to pay for the flights and hotels." "I'm sorry, Alex. That is not happening. You can use your money, but I can't offer you anything. I'm already paying for a lot of stuff. You can't expect me to pay for a trip that I won't even get to join." Alex, of course, threw a fit, and we had a major fight. He was adamant about going to Bali for the vacation. Things got so heated that he left to stay with his mom. However, his mom, Bella, ended up siding with me and sending him back grumbling. Bella is truly an amazing lady. After going days without talking, I finally cracked and asked to talk. Instead of the bachelor's party in Bali, I told Alex that we could have our honeymoon there instead. Alex made some noise about how he would lose face in front of his friends, but accepted the compromise when I didn't back down. I had really thought about how the problem had been solved with my compromise. I still paid for the Bali trip, but now I get to enjoy it with my new husband. However, I hadn't known back then that my own husband would end up betraying me. Things were going well, and we got married in a very beautiful ceremony. We were all set to travel to Bali a week after the wedding. However, just a day before we left, I found Alex standing near our home's fireplace with my passport in hand. I was confused and sad. "What are you doing with my passport, Alex?" "I kept our passports together so that we don't forget to take them tomorrow." "Oh, I took your passport out of your bag, Emily. There's something I really need to do before we leave tomorrow." "What do you need to do, Alex?" What happened next was straight out of a movie. With a flick of Alex's hand, my passport was in the fireplace. I was in complete shock at what I had just witnessed. It took me a minute or two to actually comprehend the fact that my husband actually threw my passport in the freaking fireplace. And he did it right in front of me. When I looked up at his face in utter disbelief, I saw that he was smirking. Somehow, my stricken expression made him laugh out loud. He started to holler and only stopped when I said, "Alex, what the hell did you just do? Did you just intentionally throw my passport in the fireplace?" "Are you blind, Emily? Didn't you see that is what I exactly did?" But why? Why did you do that?" I was slowly starting to understand the gravity of the situation. It finally dawned on me that my husband had maliciously thrown a very important document of mine right into the fireplace. It was almost burnt to ashes as the realization set in. There was nothing I could do than to ask Alex why he would do such a horrible thing. The words that came out of his mouth after my question were even more hurtful. He said, "What were you expecting, Emily? I had warned you that you shouldn't have vetoed my bachelor's party celebration. Did you really think that I would let you get away with it?" "Wait, what? You can't be freaking serious right now. You destroyed my passport because I didn't allow you to spend my money to book your bachelor's trip?" "Stop freaking calling it your money, Emily. I told you that once we're engaged, your money is our money. Still, you had to go out of your way to humiliate me and make me cancel my plans with my friends. This is what you get for being such a witch." It then struck me why Alex had burnt my passport. He was taking revenge on me for not paying for his bachelor's trip. The moment he had made his reasoning clear, I felt like I was doused with a bucket of cold water. My mind was at a standstill while my heart refused to believe that my husband was such a vindictive piece of shit. Even then, I didn't even know what he was trying to accomplish. I said, "How does burning my passport help you, Alex? What are you even trying to achieve? None of this makes sense. I already let you book our honeymoon to Bali. How will we go there now?" "Well, guess what, Emily? I will be going to Bali after all, and you won't be coming with me." "Wait, what? This was supposed to be our honeymoon. You can't just go there by yourself. This trip was supposed to be for both of us." Alex laughed in my face again. It was the kind of evil laugh that just doesn't feel real, but it is. It was a dark side of my own husband that I had never seen before. Honestly, it was making my skin crawl with disgust. Alex seemed oblivious to my distress. He simply said, "Yes, this trip was supposed to be for the two of us, but how will you join me, Emily? Your passport is burnt to ashes. You can't go with me now?" "Yes, we can't go on this expensive honeymoon anymore because of your stupidity. Now, we will end up losing all the money. That won't be happening because the trip is still on. You won't be able to go, but I can. Looks like I will be getting that dream bachelor's trip after all. You can stay here and think about your actions so that you can join me on our next trip. Are you seriously considering going on this trip without me? You want to go on our honeymoon without me? Yes, Emily. Remember how you made me choose between the bachelor's party and the honeymoon? I chose the bachelor's party with a little lesson for you on the side. Maybe I will pick you up next time when you are acting less entitled. Now, I have an early flight to catch tomorrow, so I will be going to sleep. Good night, wife. Alex was still laughing when he retreated upstairs to take his beauty sleep. Meanwhile, I was a complete mess. It took a few more minutes for the entire thing to sink in. When it finally did, I couldn't keep my tears at bay anymore. I felt terribly betrayed and knew that it was those early signs of control and abuse. I have seen it happen to my mother, but I didn't know how I ended up with someone like my father. It was a complete disaster and I didn't know what to do anymore. However, I was sure about one thing. I wasn't going to ignore what my husband had done to me, and I wasn't going to let go of it that easily. The hopeless romantic in me waited for Alex to come down and apologize to me. I held on to the glimmer of hope that he would realize his mistake and ask for forgiveness. I would have actually forgiven him and suggested couples counseling. Yes, I loved him that much. But the moment he came downstairs with his packed bags, my hope was crushed. I sat on the couch crying at the destruction of my marriage while my new husband happily waved goodbye and took an Uber to the airport. I didn't sleep that night and cried throughout the day. I only snapped out of it when my mother-in-law called me and said, "Hey, Emily, is everything okay there? Have you reached Singapore for your connecting flight? I've been trying to reach Alex, but his phone still seems to be turned off." I didn't go on the trip, Bella. What? What are you talking about? Has your honeymoon been cancelled? I swear I got a text from Alex saying that he got on the plane just fine. Belfast confusion broke the dam again. I started to cry while trying to make up words to explain the situation to her. I was so overwhelmed that Bella hung up on me and drove straight to the house. As soon as she walked in, she looked shocked at my state. She comforted me for some time before saying, "Emily, what's going on? Why didn't you go for the honeymoon? Where the hell is Alex and why is he playing me like that?" Alex wasn't lying, Bella. He is on the trip, but he left without me. What nonsense, Emily. This is supposed to be your honeymoon. You two should have left together. What the hell is going on? Through my tears, I explained everything to Bella. To say that Bella was horrified was an understatement. She was also extremely furious and ready to wreak havoc on Alex. She comforted me for a long time and only spoke again when I was calmer. She sighed and said, "Please tell me you won't be letting him get away with this. You do realize that this is some messed up behavior, right?" "I know that, Bella. I'm honestly contemplating my marriage right now. I don't think I want to stay with Alex after this. I don't even recognize him anymore." I was really hoping that he would change his ways now that he found an amazing woman like you. Looks like I failed to raise my son completely. He is beyond redemption now. Do what you should do to protect yourself, Emily. I'm on your side. Having Bella's support meant the world to me. It did help to know that even Alex's own mother was against his antics. I wasn't crazy in thinking that he had taken things too far. Me and Bella discussed Alex's past behavior to a great extent, and what we uncovered was shocking. We both realized that Alex was a moocher and had been leeching off us for years. As the years passed, his entitlement only got worse and turned him into such a horrible man. All he knew was to take advantage of people and use their money to have a good life. The realization made both me and Bella furious. It was then that we both came up with a plan to show Alex his place in this world, a plan to teach him a lesson for life. It took me 4 days to see the plan in motion. I must say that Bella helped out a lot, and honestly, it wouldn't have worked without her support. We accomplished a lot of things within those 4 days to make sure Alex got the biggest lesson of his life. When everything was done, it was time to call Alex. He picked up the phone, looking cheerful as hell, and all I wanted to do was knock off that smirk that I could see on the video call. Keeping a straight voice, I said, "Hey Alex, how's it going? Enjoying your solo honeymoon so far?" "I'm so glad you asked, Emily. This trip is the best trip of my life. It is exactly how I had imagined, and I'm having the best time ever. It truly is the bachelor's trip that I deserved. It's only a shame that my friends couldn't come." "Oh, you poor thing, Alex. You must be missing your friends on this bachelor's trip a lot." "Well, don't worry. Soon you will be only going on bachelor's trips because guess what? You won't be married anymore." That got Alex's attention in an instant. I guess the fear of losing his cash cow was getting to him. In an instant, his cheerful face had a bit of panic to it. He immediately tried to brush off the topic and said, "You can't be serious, Emily. We just got married and you want to leave me over a trip? That is ridiculous." "You didn't think it would be ridiculous to leave your wife behind and go on your honeymoon all by yourself. Guess this trip was more important to you than staying married. Well, knowing that now, I've decided to do you a favor and give you a chance to stay in Bali as long as you want." "What the hell do you mean, Emily? You're not making any sense." "Well, you did fly over there with my money and are staying at a hotel again with my money, but have you thought about how you will be coming back?" Now, this was something that my dear husband had never thought about. From the way his face fell and he turned as pale as a ghost, it was not difficult to come to this conclusion. This self-centered idiot really thought that I would allow him to spend my goddamn money on a luxurious trip for himself? The absolute audacity just blew my mind. I didn't cancel all the bookings straight away because I wanted the reality to hit him with full effect, and seeing his pale face on my phone screen was worth the money spent. He said, "I already have the flights booked. Why would I have trouble coming back?" "Well, those flights have been booked on my credit card, Alex. And since I have decided not to continue our marriage anymore, there's no reason I would allow you to use my money. This is your solo honeymoon anyway, so today, right after this phone call, I will be canceling all those charges. Yes, all of them, including the flights and hotels." No, you're bluffing. You won't do that. There's no way you're doing that." Alex now looked panicked as hell, and his eyes turned into saucers. He really did expect me to lay down and take the consequences of my actions as he had seen fit. He hadn't expected me to turn around and make him face some consequences of his own. The thought of me canceling everything and leaving him stranded on an island far from home really spiked his fear. He was hysterical, saying that I could not do this to him. I laughed and said, "Oh, Alex, I'm going to do everything I just said. As a matter of fact, I've already moved out of our rented apartment and requested an annulment of our marriage. Everything has already been set into motion." "Emily, listen to me. You're not thinking straight. Let me just come back and we can talk this through. Hell, I'll even cut my vacation short if you need me. Just let me come back and talk to you. I will make this right, I promise." You threw away every chance to make this right when you left for this damn vacation. You destroyed this marriage when you maliciously burnt my passport so that I couldn't come on the honeymoon that I was freaking paying for. This is over, Alex. You are lucky I'm not suing you for destroying important documents, but I won't let the other things go. We are done. I hung up on Alex and immediately cancelled all the bookings that were made using my credit card. Then I screenshot the cancellation receipts and sent them to my soon-to-be ex-husband. He absolutely freaked out, alternating between calling me names and begging me not to do this to him. I simply blocked his number and waited to see what he would do. It took him one whole day to come back to our city. He had no other option. I had already cancelled the hotels and he didn't have money to get them booked by himself. What little money he had was already spent on food and drinks there, so he was forced to beg a friend to give him money to come back. It wasn't a handout, but a loan. He did try to call Bella, but she didn't take his calls like me. We knew that sooner or later Alex would come begging at her door, and that's when he would get another big surprise. You can imagine his face when he showed up to his mother's house to find me living with her. Immediately, Alex said, "Mom, what is Emily doing here? Why were you not taking my calls?" "Well, Emily is living with me now. I offered her my place to stay and gave her the sage advice to move out of your place." "Mom, why would you do that? Emily's trying to leave me. You should be on my side and not help her make this ridiculous decision." "What part of her decision is ridiculous to you, Alex? The part where her husband burnt her passport and left for their honeymoon without her? Or the part where he used her money to book everything?" Alex turned even paler when Bella said that. He again hadn't thought that I would spill all the beans to his mother, and instead of taking his side, his mom would actually take mine. I was having a good time sitting on the couch and watching my dear mother-in-law destroy my husband. Alex tried his best to make himself the victim. "Mom, you don't even understand what's going on. Emily betrayed me by cancelling everything there. I had to take a loan from a friend to come back to her. She left me stranded there on purpose. I have no money to pay back my friend now." Do you think your wife is a piggy bank, Alex? What kind of an entitled idiot have you grown up to be? Emily owes you nothing, especially when you betrayed her so horribly. Of course I will take her side. I'm ashamed of having a son like you. Mom, this is so unfair. I need you. And you're turning against me? Emily landed me in trouble and I have nowhere to go. You are the only one I can turn to. You should be on my side. Did you really think that you could come here and ask me for help? And I would happily oblige? That is never happening again, Alex. I will get my point across loud and clear, Alex. You will never get a penny out of me, and you are not welcome in my house again. I don't want anything to do with an entitled and selfish son like you. Alex was in shock, hearing what his own mother had to say about his antics. I must say that the look on his face was pure bliss for me. I was thoroughly enjoying the scene unfolding in front of me. Things got exceptionally satisfying when Alex realized that he had indeed messed up a lot. Now he had a freaking loan looming on his head and was actually at risk of being homeless since he couldn't afford rent on his own. His credit card debts also weren't going to be of much help at the moment. When he realized the gravity of the situation, he started to beg and plead with Bella to help him out. Our plan of seeking revenge brought him back to earth and showed him how badly he had messed up. He wanted to prove a point and keep me under control, but the plan backfired on him and destroyed his life. As anyone would expect, Alex did beg me and Bella to forgive him. But at that point, we both realized how much he was taking advantage of us. It was really time to make him face the tune. So Bella promptly kicked him out of her house while telling him not to bother coming back. The next chain of events was rather predictable for me, actually. Still, I'm going to tell you what happened. We ended up getting an annulment since we didn't even stay together for more than a week. And I did end up telling my lawyer what Alex did to my passport. My lawyer was able to convince Alex to agree to annulment by promising to dissolve the matter of my passport. With no money left for a good lawyer, Alex saw it best to just do what I wanted. I had better chances of winning the annulment anyway, but even with the annulment, he didn't stop trying to get back with me. Remember the bachelor's trip with friends that Alex was dying to go to? Well, that little trip ended up nuking his life. Now, he no longer has friends anymore. After he was unable to pay a friend back the loan he took to return from Bali, Alex was cut off from his friends. They didn't want to associate with the leech anymore now that they knew that I wasn't sponsoring their expenses anymore. So ended up cutting Alex off to avoid becoming his cash cow. Alex is now completely alone without any friends or family members. Bella still refused to talk to him even though the whole incident happened a year back. She is upset at him and adamant that Alex needs to be on his own to lose his gross entitlement. So far, it has been working just fine. He has severely downgraded his life and is begging me and Bella for another chance. I don't know about Bella, but I will never fall into the trap again. I'm happy being on my own now and plan to remain like that till I find someone worthy of me.